Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Guess what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. I think I said that wrong, didn't I? Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Yeah, there we go. See, the funny thing is, if I say it wrong, then I'll get a message from somebody saying that I said it wrong. Because some of the stuff I say the same way every single day, and then people kind of talk along with it. And my wife's phone is going nuts. They're already calling,
sorry.
see? Saying that I messed up. Well, today is the 16th day of April. It's National Orchid Day. It is National Eggs Benedict Day, National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day, National Healthcare Decisions Day, and National Bean Counter Day. All of those things happening on this Tuesday. Also, coming up later in the program, we're going to call and talk to her dad. We do that every Tuesday. It's a little thing we like to call...
My dad's amazing. Isn't he the
Tuesdays
greatest?
with Charlie. Yes, he is. He's pretty darn funny.
I know.
We're going to try to convince him to move in with us, by the way.
Yes, we are.
So we're going to see how that goes. Maybe we won't
That's
do that
gonna
on
be
the program, but yeah, he's got some choice words for us if we do, I'm sure. But I would like to get him to do that. Coming up here in a bit, we've got a lot of fun stuff. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
The inventor of Rip It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Now, surveys and studies and such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. A new study found that San Franciscan residents, so if you live in San Francisco, would you be a San Franciscan? Is that the way you would say it?
I don't think so.
How would you say it? A San Franciscanite?
I don't know.
Well, we'll just say
I would say from San Francisco.
A San Francisco resident who makes $300,000 a year would still most likely live paycheck to paycheck. What?
Yeah, no thank you.
How expensive does it cost to live there?
How expensive does it cost? Your language
How expensive
has
is
been
it to live?
awesome this
How
week.
expensive is it to live there? I don't know what I'm saying. This has been Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years, in addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends. We had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A man who surmised that a ghost may have planted some meth in his Louisiana home eventually admitted that, nah, it wasn't a ghost, it was mine.
Silly Casper.
Yeah. 60-year-old Michael Ottenberry was arrested back in October. Police showed up for a purported assault. He called 911 to claim that he had been stabbed on the head by an axe. When they got there, they determined that he was not suffering from an axe wound and there was no assailant in sight.
Jeez.
However, they did see on a nightstand right there in front of them a brown paper containing a gram of meth. Cops quizzed him and said, yeah, a ghost or maybe some intruders planted those drugs. Mm-hmm. And then they climbed out the bedroom window. Anyway, later he said that was not accurate. He was charged with narcotics possession and making a false report to the police. He pled guilty to a felony drug charge.
Wow.
So, yeah, bad idea. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Over the weekend, it was a big time to watch television, Heidi.
It was?
Yeah, it was huge. The Masters were on Sunday. Over 20 million people watched the Masters. That's a golf
Really?
thing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I know what the Masters is.
20 million people watched that. And if you think that was a big thing, the Sunday Game of Thrones premiere, HBO had over 30 million viewers watching that. So that's what everybody else was doing this weekend. Not us. We didn't watch the Masters, and we didn't watch the Game of Thrones. But there is a new app that I think I might get, just because I think it would be hilarious. There's a new app that will help you ruin the Game of Thrones for all of your friends. by sending them spoilers from every episode.
Oh, my gosh.
That is so mean. Coming up here during our Scoop of the Day, we're going to talk about something similar to that happened in our life. I think it's still really funny every time I think about it. But that Game of Thrones and the Masters, apparently a big, big deal over the weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Credit cards, they can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They'll help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, your Scoop of the Day brought to you by bettercreditcards.net. Just a bit ago, we were talking about a new app that will ruin the Game of Thrones for your friends. It'll send them spoilers from every episode. That's mean, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that.
There are some people that I think purposely do that kind of thing. They go on Facebook, while they're watching something, and they'll like spoil it for anybody that was recording it to watch it later. Which I'm like, if you are recording something to watch it later, just stay off of social media. But I remember, this has probably been, 10 years ago at least, back when Sixth Sense came out. When was that? That's a while back. And the movie had been out for maybe a year, so it wasn't a brand new movie. And our son at the time was probably 13 years old. My sister-in-law had rented that movie. This is back when you go to stores to rent things.
Yes.
So we were in one room at this event and talking about the fact that she rented this movie. And then our son walks in the room, not realizing that's why we're talking about it. And then, by the way, if you're going to watch Sixth Sense, if you haven't seen it yet, a spoiler alert, cover your ears for 12 seconds here. He comes walking into the room, and he's like, "Isn't it crazy? He was dead the whole time?" And completely ruined the movie for my sister-in-law.
He had no idea.
And then he did
the same thing with the Wizard of Oz remake.
Yeah, a year later.
Can you believe so-and-so was the Wicked Witch? And Shen's like, are you
kidding
serious?
I've got that recorded, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So, moving on to our Scoop of the Day now. The National Enquirer has been put up for sale, and they are expecting to sell it quite quickly. Apparently, it's going to be a bargain, and I believe the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot are currently duking it out over who gets to buy it. So, because it's the Enquirer.
I see.
I don't believe the news in there is real.
Is that where you were going with that?
Kind of where I was going with that, yeah. A group of teenagers are wanted for stealing laptops out of a California Starbucks. So that's kind of a crazy thing. So people are sitting in there working, and then these guys will go and grab their laptop and run out the door, apparently.
Yikes.
That's not good. A video has gone viral of a woman in Colorado at a bar who nearly got hit by an axe after she threw it at the wall and it bounced back at her.
I saw this video.
Yeah.
I have said all along, this is a really bad idea.
We have friends that go and do that.
And if she had been intoxicated, she wouldn't have had the reflexes to get out of the way of that thing.
Now, for those of you who have not seen the video, I've got a link to the video. And I shared this video on Facebook a week ago when it first came out. And now that it's gone viral and it's all over the place, it's in the news. But here's the thing. When she threw it, it hit a rubber mat on the floor. And then it bounced up and hit the wall and then flew back at her. She ducked and it went right over her head.
It was insane.
It was insane. But there are people out there that are defending the sport going, hey, this is a very safe sport. In anything, you can have an accident, which is true. You absolutely can. But when you're drinking and throwing axes...
You're just inviting problems.
Again, if that's your deal and you're into it, and that's cool.
Your life insurance company would definitely like to know if that's a sport you partake in. Let's just put it that way.
I've got a link to the video if you want to see what we're talking about. It's in the show notes. A new report claims that Amazon has humans listening to what other people are telling their Alexa so the company can then market to you better. By the way, Alexa, don't worry. I'm not trying to talk to you right now. They're probably going off all over the place. You can't even say her name without her ears perking up. So what do you think of that? The fact that they admit that, yeah, we have people listening to those to see what you guys are talking about.
I never doubted it for a second. I've called her wiretap from the moment we installed it.
Yeah, and you got that for me for Christmas. And how long did I have it sit here before I even plugged it in?
Long time.
It was a long time because I was like, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
And it's not because I have
we
anything
really
to
don't
hide.
use it a whole lot. Honestly, we probably don't need it. We could sell it.
But I'm just saying, it's not because I'm afraid they're going to hear me talking about some top secret stuff. I just feel really weird about having something in our room that's just listening to us all the time. So we put it in our kitchen. So I don't know. I want to make sure I let everybody know what room I'm talking about there. Moving on. Thanks for listening to your Scoop of the Day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net.
Are you trying to find the perfect gift for someone with a good sense of humor? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has a good selection of funny t-shirts and more. Some with Christmas themes. One that even replaces the ugly Christmas sweater for your next party. Find some silly shirts at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Also, learn how you can sell your own designs to make some extra Christmas cash. There's a link at the bottom of the page at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
It's Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
How you doing, Charlie?
Is it already that time?
It is. It's time to chat with you. How you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing great.
Very good.
Absolutely great.
So we going to learn some cool stuff today?
Well, you always learn cool stuff when I talk.
We absolutely do. What kind of cool stuff are we going to learn today?
You've been in a casino.
Oh, yeah, I've been in those.
You know, what do they call it, roulette?
Roulette, yeah.
Roulette? Okay, you spin the wheel and the little ball falls in, right?
Yeah, it's roulette. Yes, correct.
Okay, do you know all the numbers on there? Add them from 1 to 36. You know what the magical number is total?
300? I have no idea.
666.
Is it really?
Oh.
I didn't
That's
realize
the devil's
that.
game.
So next time you're in there, you watch them spin the wheel and tell the guy that does that, hey, I know what that is. 666.
Wow, that's interesting.
I had no idea. I don't really do
that's
the
why you
roulette
talk to
thing.
me.
No, I've never played roulette.
I don't really do the roulette thing either.
Well, you should try it sometime. You'll lose. Hey, then it's baseball season, right?
Apparently, there's folks that are pretty excited about that.
Well, not me, but that's all right. I don't have to watch it.
No, me neither.
Okay, the umpires, guys stand behind the plate. Well, all of them, all major league umpires,
Okay.
they must wear black underwear while on the job.
I
How
wonder
would
why.
anybody know? Who's going to check that?
Well, if you split your pants, you would know.
Ah, see, there you go.
See, there's a reason to my madness. I had nothing to do with it. It's all major league umpires.
I would wear something crazy just in case.
Bright pink?
I think that would be hilarious to wear just something off the wall.
Or nothing at all.
Or nothing at all, yeah.
I suppose because they're hunched like that, there is a pretty good chance that they could split their
Yeah,
pants.
I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. I've never seen it, but it could happen.
Well, maybe it happened and you just didn't know it because
they were
their
wearing black
pants
underwear.
were black.
Hey, what's that hanging out there? Oh, it's my black underwear. Don't worry about it.
See, now
Don't
you know.
look black to me. Did you know that orange juice, you drink orange juice all the time, right?
Yeah, I like orange juice. We don't have it as much as I'd like, but we do have it.
Well, I hate orange juice. Anyway, it's actually yellow, not orange. Why do they call it orange juice?
I don't know, because it comes from an orange.
oranges.
I think that's why. That's why they call apple juice, because it comes from apples. Grape juice is grape juice because it comes from grapes.
Orange juice is yellow. Where does it come from?
Yellow juice. Can I get some yellow juice? If you ask for that, they might pee in your cup, so don't ask for that.
Give me some of that yellow juice in my vodka.
No. Orange
Hey,
juice.
here's something I bet you didn't know.
What's that?
Human tonsils can bounce higher than a rubber ball of similar size, but only for the first 30 minutes after they've been removed.
Really? And then
I would like to know who it was who bounced a human tonsil for longer than 30 minutes.
well, you got to see this.
Taking some kid's tonsil out and it fell on the floor and bounced up, and I was, hey, look at this.
And they
They
probably
all
say,
come in and they were bouncing them, and then after 30 minutes, it's oh, it's gone.
yes, they probably called somebody to come down. They're like, oh, I'll be there in 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
No, it was really cool, really, up until a few minutes ago.
Where do I come up with this stuff?
The internet is full of stuff that's just not necessarily needed, but it certainly is interesting.
Well, yes, it is.
Well, Charlie, are you ready for a question from us?
Okay.
All right. How many bones are in your body when you're born? And I'll tell you, when you reach adulthood, you have 206. But how many are you born with?
185.
No, 300.
Yeah, because all your
300?
bones fuse together.
Yeah, you're born with 300 bones, and then some of them fuse together.
Yeah.
So 206 bones.
What if they don't all fuse together? Then can you count more?
You have
Wouldn't you have more?
You got an extra bone rolling around in there.
Well, I got an extra bone, all right. I don't know what I'm doing with it.
That's why you got to drink lots of orange juice. It's good for it.
Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us.
Well, someday I'm going to get old and we won't be able to do this no more.
Oh, come on now. One of these days, we're going to have you in person. We're going to try to make that happen all the time.
Hey, good luck with that.
It's going to happen.
We're working on it. All right. Bye-bye, Charlie.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
The inventor of Rip It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Babe Ruth kept a cabbage leaf under his cap to keep himself cool. So he'd have like an ice-cold cabbage
Really?
leaf that he would stick on his head, and then he'd put his hat over the top
I
of
wonder
it.
if he ate it.
I doubt that, because that would be disgusting. But it sounds like a really good idea to keep yourself cool. I never really would have thought of that.
We're not going to do that.
You're not going to get me some cabbage for that very
Wasn't
reason?
there a Kids in the Hall sketch where the guy had a cabbage hair head?
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
I thought so.
I don't know what it was, but I do remember it now. He was a Babe Ruth fan, apparently. This has been your fun fact. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Megalophobia, Heidi. MEGALOPHOBIA. Megalophobia.
Fear of loud speaking.
No, fear of large things.
Oh.
Yeah, fear of large things. It's mega. It's big.
Yeah, I was
monstrous.
thinking like a megaphone.
Yeah, that makes sense too, though. Megalophobia. Fear of
Okay.
large things. Today's fun with phobias.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years. In addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends, we had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Officers pulled over a woman driving a Walmart mobility scooter down a highway in Tennessee. This happened last Friday. Sally Selby caught the attention of law enforcement at 5 a.m. when she was cruising down the highway in a motorized shopping cart from Walmart. She was going in the slow lane, at least. She told officers she was on her way to the Waffle House to get a cup of coffee. Okay. 45-year-old initially told officers that she built the scooter. She was later arrested for the theft after Walmart employees confirmed that, yes, this is our scooter.
I built this.
Where'd you
I
get
built
this?
this in my garage.
Built it? Why does it say Walmart right here? That's where I bought the parts. I don't know. It shows there's a surveillance video that
man.
shows her using the scooter in the store and then just cruising off
Just
with it.
going home.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
Not
Heading home.
Not a good idea.
How is she going to charge it when
I
she got
don't
it there?
know.
I mean, all the stuff is
Maybe
there.
she stole a cord too. I have no idea. Or she
I
was
guess I've
gonna
never
ditch
used
that
one of
scooter.
those things. Is the cord built in and you just
I
plug it
don't
into
know.
a wall?
I'm not sure. This is definitely some weird news. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Angered by the noise coming from the picket line across the street from their home, a couple in Ohio decided to get their vengeance, Heidi.
Okay.
They walked out and acted like really nice people. Were like, hey guys, we made you some cookies. And they took the striking school employees, they were on strike, took them some cookies. This is a 29-year-old Bo Costins and 25-year-old Rachel Sherrick. They're facing felony contamination charges. and they were on $1 million bond. They stayed in jail because they couldn't afford to get out.
What did they put in them?
They put X-Lax in cookies. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's not good.
They did not like the fact that all these... Well, it doesn't say X. It says laxative spiked treats.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was the brand, and maybe I shouldn't have used a brand. It has nothing to do with the brand. Don't feel negative towards them.
You probably really couldn't even tell that because they make chocolate laxatives.
Yeah.
That taste, I mean, they are delicious.
Really? You can make some cookies with those?
You could make, it would look like chocolate chips.
There was video that captured the couple discussing the delivery of the cookies to the strikers. So they gave themselves up by recording it. So I'm not saying they shouldn't have. I'm going to just be careful what I say, because now people are like, oh, he was on their side. No. Whole thing was a bad idea. That's how it's today's moment of duh. Credit cards. They can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They'll help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, these three things. Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? Spencer for Hire, Vegas, and SWAT. Spencer for Hire, Vegas, and SWAT.
Detectives?
Well, kind of, sort of. No, not quite. They're all TV series that starred Robert Urich.
Oh. Was he a detective in all of them?
Well, I know he was in Spencer for Hire. I don't know about the others. I never watched those. But, yeah, I'm going to give you kind of a 1/10 of a credit for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Those of you keeping track at home. Heidi's not doing well. And apparently there's some show where they say something about these three things, because somebody asked me, and I'd already forgot what the show was now. They're like, hey, did you get that from that show? I'm like, didn't know there was a show.
I've never seen that show.
It's a kid's show, too. So now... I'm going to have to see what that is. But they're like, oh, yeah, they say these three things in that episode like a couple times.
Oh.
I'm going to have to look for it and see if I can find... If anybody knows what I'm talking about, because I don't. If you'd let me know, that'd be cool. Thanks for listening to these three things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. Brought to you by RadioTravelGroup.com. Heidi, we are mere weeks away, just a couple weeks away now, from the big trip to Vegas. All of the details on that, if you'd like to join us in Vegas for 80s in the Desert, all of the details at RadioTravelGroup.com. Take a listen to this. This is a real cool story. First of all, I got to say, I've always liked Willie Nelson. So whether you like Willie Nelson or not, if you're a big fan of his music or if you don't like the guy, listen to the story and you'll see why so many people just think the guy is so darn cool.
Okay.
When he's not on tour and he's not playing music, Willie Nelson spends his time at a ranch in Texas where he has 70 horses roaming right now. All of those horses, by the way, were rescued before they could be sent to a slaughterhouse. He's got a ranch called Luck Ranch. He says, when you're here, you're in luck. And when you're not, well, you're out of luck. He says, my horses are probably the luckiest horses in the world. They get hand-fed twice a day, and they were all ready to go to the slaughterhouse, and that's probably the last thing they knew. The lucky news is that they didn't go there. Instead, he bought them, and they came to his ranch. 700 acres in Spicewood, Texas, about 30 miles from Austin, and they've got a ton of room to roam. He said, I retire after every show. I say, that's it. I'm not going no more. Then I go hang out with the horses for a while, and it's people, and he misses the people, and he goes, okay, well, we'll go play again. So it's really kind of a cool story. He's got all these horses because part of the reason they were going to slaughterhouse is somebody else couldn't care for them anymore, or for whatever reason they were done with them, and a lot of these are not in great condition. So he brings them in. He's like, I'm not expecting anything from these horses. You don't need to be a workhorse. You know, just come here and live out your days. And look at these horses. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
It's very cool. So, Willie Nelson taking care of some old horses. I've got a link to that story in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.